Hello and welcome to Tito's Cucina. In today's recipe, I'll be showing you how to make okra stew, also known as Nigerian okra soup. For this recipe, you will need some okra, which could either be fresh or frozen. I have used frozen okra because that is what I have got available. You'd also need some shredded spinach or shredded fluted pumpkin leaves, also known as your uguw leaves, which you can get from the African shop. You would need some boneless ox foot or cow leg and some goat meat or beef. Some stockfish which has been cooked until soft, crayfish, smoked fish washed and deboned, and some king prawns. 3 medium-sized onions and 4 scotch bonnets, but the number of scotch bonnets you require will depend on how hot you'd like your okra stew to be. So I'll start off by peeling my onions. I'll chop 2 of the onions and add to the blender. The 3rd onion you would need to dice into smaller pieces and set aside. Wash the scotch bonnet, chop them up and add into the blender with the onions. Blend your onion and scotch bonnet until you get a coarse puree. I've seasoned the meat with some basil, thyme. I've added in some seasoning cubes as well, and some ginger powder and a little bit of turmeric. Add in some water. Stir in your seasoning, cover and cook for about 20 minutes to half an hour until soft. It's important you don't overcook your meat because you will still cook the meat in the stew, and if you don't want your meat to be too soft, then you just cook it until soft enough but not overcooked, not too soft basically. Once your meat is softened and cooked, you separate the meat from the stock and set aside. I have added in more water than usually required because I want a little bit of stock to make my okra stew with. And so you just set your meat aside, separate from the stock water and set aside. The frozen okra comes already sliced, but I am chopping the sliced okra into smaller sizes. You could choose to leave them as large sizes. It all depends on your preference. I actually prefer my okra chopped into smaller sizes with just a few big chunks in it. So you heat up some red palm oil. I have used the carotene oil, which is a mixture of red palm oil and your rapeseed oil, and is actually meant to be rich in omega-3 and a healthy variety of your red palm oil. To the heated oil, add in some of the chopped onions. I have added in 2 seasoning cubes. I am using the Maggi chicken tablets. Add in your onion and scotch bonnet mix. I've added in some smoked paprika just to give it that smoky paprika-ish flavor, and add in the crayfish and stir. And then I add in the meat and also some stock, some of the stock from the cooked meat. Stir it all together, and this is the reason why you shouldn't overcook your meat, because you will still cook it for a little bit in the stew. Also, I tend to cook my stew in large portion and store in smaller single portions in the freezer to be used as required. And so when you overcook your meat, it turns out, you know, very soft when you store it in the freezer. Adding in my stockfish and my my smoked fish as well, and I stir it all. I cover and I leave to simmer and cook for about 10 minutes. And then add in the shredded spinach or your pumpkin leaves. Give it a good mix, a good stir. And then last of all, you add in your okra. Your okra should come in last, because you do not want to overcook your okra and lose all of the goodness and vitamins in your green veggies. So add in the okra and keep stirring continuously. And stirring continuously helps to release the heat, because okra tends to cook, you know, quickly with a lot of heat. So stirring it kind of releases the pockets of heat and maintains the greenness of your okra. Cover and cook for about just 2 minutes or so, and you know, take it off your burner immediately. As I mentioned earlier on, the okra cooks quite quickly, and so you do not want to leave the stew in contact with it for a prolonged period. And your okra stew is ready and looks delicious and ready to eat. Looks so delicious. I can't wait to dig in. So serve your stew, and this can be eaten with your fufu, which is a pounded cassava. It could be eaten with your pounded yam, your oatmeal made into like a staple, your gari, which is cassava flakes made into a staple as well. And yeah, you can enjoy it with your favorite meals. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment in the comment box below. Like us on YouTube and subscribe to the Tito's Cucina YouTube channel, and also follow us on Instagram on Tito Cucina, on Facebook Tito's Cucina, and on Twitter Cucina Tito. Thank you.